G'day guys, Tills20 here and welcome back to Marble Mountain. In today's episode, we're going to be working on a super tiny interchange that's going to serve the traffic that's going to be going across the river up in this little section of the map just outside of Montana. Actually, I guess it's still within Montana, but it's probably one of the last bridges that's going to be making its way across the river. This is not the bridge that I've been trying to work on for the last 2 streams. If you've been catching those streams, apologies for my indecisiveness. I guess I really want that bridge to be something super special, and I've just been really struggling with how it's going to look, so apologies. Been doing a pretty bad job of those streams lately. But this one I am going to leave pretty plain. It's only going to be pretty much exactly how it looks right now. I'll do a little bit of work on trying to make it a little bit more even and things like that. But I'm going to keep this one pretty simple, mostly because it's on the outskirts of the city, and I just think that it's fine to have a couple of plain bridges in your city. So that's what this one's going to look like. But we will be working a little bit more on the bridge later on down the track. In today's episode, we're just pretty much focusing on this little interchange, and it is a very, very small interchange for a couple of reasons. The biggest one is that it's on the fringes of the city, and I didn't really have a huge amount of space to play with. On top of that, the road that it's connected to is not exactly a highway. It's instead just a main road. It's actually an avenue. So I had to try and give it the appearance that it's not an interchange, you know. And if I wanted to make these on and off ramps, then I kind of had to, you know, do some sneaky things just to make it look like it's the same avenue, hasn't changed, hasn't turned into a highway, which means that, you know, I had to keep it pretty small. I had to make it do some very tricky things in terms of, you know, the nodes, you know, because you'll actually notice that there's only just the right amount of clearance between each of these ramps. So that was it was really tricky. You know, it's tricky working with such a tiny little space. Could not have done this without the Move It mods, because I definitely did not get this right the first time. And I guess the challenge was to keep it looking as if it was just an avenue. So the houses and stuff around it will still be connected to the actual highway, even though they don't, you know, I guess the vanilla game wouldn't allow you to, you know, zone those areas. So that's why I wanted to keep it compact. I also didn't want it to be the focal point, even though I still really like the detail work I do around here. So you will see a little bit of detail. I ended up turning this whole area into a bit of a parkland with some suburbs around there too. And this particular location is one of the nicest spots within the city. So we got a lot of nice mansions around here. The suburb, the downtown, not the downtown or the suburb, what am I trying to say? The commercial district that I'll be working on in just a sec too. That is a really nice district. I wanted that to serve a lot of the houses, the suburbs around this area. So, you know, all the houses, all the commercial area, the whole commercial area, I should say, is just cafes and restaurants and a movie theater. And it's also kind of like a second skyline. So you will, after this build, you will see kind of a bit of a second skyline for the city, which is nice. We will have a couple other bigger sort of skylines around the area, particularly on the other side of the river when we finally get there. So yeah, I think that's pretty exciting, because, you know, as much as I like just having the sole downtown as, you know, the largest skyline, which it always will be, it's kind of nice having little separate little areas that have, you know, some taller buildings around there. So it's not just this one prominent skyline. But yeah, we'll delve into that a little bit further on down the track. But you can see those nodes. I mean, it's very, very tight, that interchange. And I'm pretty happy that it turned out the way it did, because it is, you know, it's definitely not the focal point. You could actually quite easily miss it, because it is gets integrated within the environment pretty well. And that's something that I wanted to achieve. It's definitely not a focal point, but it's still really nice. It's still a nice little interchange that I got there. And I will like to continue working around this area, because there is, you know, I think some of the houses around this spot are going to be pretty unique to Montana, and I wanted this whole area to have its own feel to it. So, you know, all the houses that are going to be situated around here are going to be much larger, much nicer. The type of apartments as well. I'm using a lot of the Green City buildings for this whole area, for the downtown area of this little section. And, you know, I'm going to be also creating like a very much like a Hollywood Beverly Hills-esque type of houses that sit around this hillside, which you'll see in the next episode, which is I think turns out really great. I've already built that one too, so we're getting through a lot of old footage that I created. Pretty much spent like the whole weekend just building stuff because I was really motivated and locked indoors, like I'm sure all of you guys are too. Now I'm starting to work on this commercial district, which is going to have some larger buildings, which saw me just play with. There's yeah, I wanted to put like a little bit of detail on these areas. You know, wanted to make this whole district have a particular vibe to it. So you can see like the healthy weeds. Actually, I just noticed that it says healthy weeds. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, just put down one of those buildings. I've got an Art Deco type building there, which I think might be a cinema. I'm not really sure, but I think it fits in pretty well. So I'm being pretty particular with the types of buildings that I'm using. And that, yeah, I think that helps to create the type of vibe I'm going for. Something that I do with these commercial districts is I place the buildings, you know, I obviously pop the growables to place down those buildings on the main road, and then all the way at the back of them I put just like parking lots, because there's going to be a lot of people parking these areas. A lot of people ask me about my parking situation because I don't actually connect them up to the roads, because I don't really like the connection that it creates. Like I kind of feel like that parking lots don't really get, like, unless they're like a really big parking lot that's connected to the main road, then they might have that connection that you usually see in the game when you connect up roads. But instead, I just drag the parking lots in the location. And every now and again, I might use ploppable asphalt mods to place down some asphalt around there. But they're actually not connected to the road. But that doesn't matter. The game still recognizes that they are, you know, parking lots, and they still park in those locations. So that's something you don't really have to worry about. But yeah, just usually I get rid of this sort of footage of me like placing down the parking lots. But I thought that, you know, it sort of shows the type of work that I do in these commercial districts, and how I, you know, how I like to structure the parking zones, and also trying to make them like a little bit different. And the way that I do that is like, you know, I'll drag down the actual network, and then I'll place down a couple of the actual parking spaces, and then wherever there's like little bits of space left when like the building's clipped into it, then I will then I'll add in some like special sort of more unique style parking areas. And if there's any like extra areas that, you know, can't really fit any sort of parking, I'll put a truck there, and that sort of like shows a bit of a dock area. But yeah, I really like the little area that I created there. Didn't want to leave too much of that footage because it gets a little bit boring. But you will see some really great shots of it in the cinematics at the very end of the episode, which I do think turn out quite nice. And now I'm starting to work around this interchange that I created, just doing a bit of detail work around it. And like I said, I wanted this to be mostly a park, because I think that, you know, there's going to be a ritzy, nice area around here. We're going to give these guys a bit of parkland, and still playing with a couple of the assets that I've only just grabbed from the Green Cities DLC. This is their MTI, which is, I guess their, you know, City Skylines nods to MIT, the college in America, I guess. I hope I'm getting that right. But yeah, I really like this thing. It's a bit bright, but, you know, I think the building itself is pretty nice. And it comes with like a pretty average looking entrance area. I mean, like the building itself, the entrance of the building looks pretty cool, but like, I don't know. I can't tell whether they've given us, you know, bare minimal entry so that we can detail it like I'm doing right now, or whether they couldn't be bothered. But I figured it deserved, a building like this deserved to have its own, you know, a bit more of a custom area for an entrance. So what I'm doing to create a bit more uniqueness and a bit more of a grand entrance is I decided to place down these networks, these concrete networks, which are used for pretty much anything in this game, and they make really nice planters. and then I just sort of like cover up all the concreteness with some of these like little shrubs. I think they're Mr. Masons, and then some palm trees in this area, and I think it works pretty nice. Ended up placing down some decals, which I think completes this area a little bit better, and also some other little bits and pieces like bins and benches. I think it turned out pretty nice. I like it. This whole parkland is pretty cool actually. You'll see it very shortly in its entirety. But yeah, some of its own parking lots. This one is actually connected because, like I said, I think that this one deserved an actual proper connection. Hope that all makes sense and I'm not just rambling about absolutely nothing and you guys don't understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't really know what people would be using this for. To be honest, I think it's in terms of education for the game, but I can't really remember its exact purpose within the game. Just plopped it down because I think it looked pretty good and fits in with this sort of nice ritzy area. And there's also another building that I placed down as part of the Green Cities DLC, which is over there. Sort of feel like it fits the vibe with this whole, with the same sort of building style. I feel like I should grab some extra hedges from the workshop because these are pretty ugly. I don't know. Let me know what you think if I should grab some extra ones. But yeah, I just placed them down there just because, I think we do need some hedges around this area. But most of you guys are pretty on board with the style of build that I'm doing with Marble Mountain. Trying to be a bit stingy with the amount of stuff that I grab from the workshop. I get like some really funny comments because I get like such divided comments. Like I'll get people saying like, oh, I thought this was meant to be just vanilla and you're using all these custom workshop assets. And then I'll get all these other comments saying, $2, like please just download some more stuff from the workshop. So I'm so torn, guys. I'm so torn. Hence the reason why I'm sort of stuck in this limbo. So apologies if you're one or the other. So now this little, I figured we needed some more suburbs around here. So I decided to create a bit more of a suburb, a bit of a tricky location. It's, I guess like this interchange kind of like divides up this neighborhood a little bit. So I couldn't really justify having a road going over or underneath it because it's only really just serving the people who live around this suburb. So instead I just thought I'd leave them a bit divided with the bridge interchange and just create some little village, little suburb over here. A couple of high rises, but mostly pretty small. And I say small, like, lower down residential areas. And like I said, a lot of these houses are much, sit on a much larger property because these people have a lot of money. So yeah, just thought I'd give them a little bit of extra property by using some of the fences just to, drag them out and show that they are sitting on some pretty nice property. I think that this would be a pretty nice area to live in Marble Mountain. Maybe not so much with the interchange right there. It would be a touch noisy, but who knows? I don't know how much traffic this is going to get. You can see a bit of traffic at the moment because this is like the only connection we've got to the other sides, but no one's living over there at the moment, so we'll have to see how that goes. But I am so excited to get over to the other sides. Next episode of Marble Mountain, I'll be working on a super nice Beverly Hills, Hollywood-esque hillside area, and it's going to look pretty sick. And then the episode after, we'll do the bridge because I'm desperately needing to do the bridge. And also next episode, I will be releasing the Savegame onto the Steam Workshop. It's been a while, so apologies, but it's coming. So look forward to that. And we're also going to do another build competition. So exciting. Yeah, I'm pretty keen to show you that. We've got a really great area of the land of Marble Mountain to build. So I'll show you that in the next episode. But guys, that is it for this one. A little bit shorter. It's a midweek episode, but I've got about 4 videos for you guys this week. So, got to keep them a little bit shorter. But let me know what you think of this little interchange. It functions pretty nice, and I think it looks pretty damn nice too. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And while you're there, don't forget to rate up the video if you like it or dislike it. That would help me out a lot too. Before I go, I want to give a special shout out to some of my patrons like Andre Hepp, Harvey Cross, and Ben Tricky. Thank you guys for your support on Patreon. And guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Much appreciated. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.